In this video, you are going to learn how to install XAMPP on macOS. Open your web browser and go to Google and search for XAMPP. Now click on the first link to apachefriends.org. There are two versions of XAMPP. There's the XAMPP native installer, which installs XAMPP directly in your macOS. And there's XAMPP VM version, which installs XAMPP using a Linux virtual machine. Do not download the XAMPP version that is available through this button in this homepage, because it will download XAMPP VM version, which doesn't work properly since macOS 11 Big Sur. So instead, let's click on the download button from the top navigation bar. Then scroll down until you see XAMPP for OS X. And as you can see, there are several versions depending on the PHP version and if it's the XAMPP native or VM installer. The version we want to download is the XAMPP native installer using the latest PHP version, which is 8.1.6. The version you have to download is this one. It's the native installer using the latest PHP version, 8.1.6. This other one is the XAMPP VM version. So let's download the number 3, the third one. Let's now wait for the download to be completed. To make sure you downloaded the right installer, you shouldn't have a -VM in the name of the installer. Let's now double-click the installer. Double-click the icon to install XAMPP. Hit open. Type your login credentials. If you didn't get to this screen due to an error informing that the XAMPP installer is not from an identified developer, then go to System Preferences, open Security and Privacy, click on the General tab. Down below, you should see another option below this grayed out option, allowing you to run the XAMPP installer. And it will actually have a button for this. And then you can double click the installer again to install XAMPP. After that, the setup screen should appear. Click Next. Let's hit Next again. It will install XAMPP core and developer files. As you can see, XAMPP will be installed to applications/XAMPP folder. Click Next. You don't need this option. You can leave it or you can uncheck it because we're not going to use WordPress, nor Drupal, nor Joomla. Click Next and hit Next again to begin installing XAMPP. The installation process may take a while, so I'm going to pause the recording and resume it once the installation process is complete. XAMPP has finished installing, so let's click Finish. And XAMPP will be launched. You will notice that besides the XAMPP control panel, you should also see XAMPP web dashboard in your web browser, which means that Apache is running. And actually you can also type localhost in your web browser and hit enter, and same thing. XAMPP web dashboard will be displayed in your web browser. Okay, so let's close this page and let's get back to our XAMPP control panel. Click on the Manage Servers tab, and as you can see, Apache server is running. Let's now also start MySQL. To do that, click on the MySQL database row and click on Start. Okay, so MySQL is now also running, and we are now fully prepared to start developing web applications using Yi2.